Hi everyone, it's James here. This is a quick update on natural gas. I'm going to refer you to the video that I made last night, the live stream, which is now up on the channel for you to re-watch if you didn't make it to the live stream. So then I'll link that at the end of this one and also above me now as I'm talking. Let's look at natural gas now in the light of what's happened since the market opened, and you can see we gapped down a tiny little bit at the market open last night, only a fraction, and then we gapped straight back up again and we're back into this little channel. We still have what looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which I showed you on the last video. I haven't got it drawn in any longer. I've still got the previous one drawn in over here to the left hand side, and you can see we've got another something similar. And now that we gap down and dip down a little bit further, the right hand shoulder looks a little bit more sensible than it did before. It was a bit lopsided, and now it looks a bit more reasonable. And if we do something like we did last time, we might move up a little bit higher. My next target, once again, is 375. That's the bottom of this weekend gap some time ago. And the top of that weekend gap is at 425. Those are both my targets. I've got a decent position, but I'd like to add some more. I'm looking for confirmation by seeing some momentum upwards. Maybe a break above this little swing high over here, and a pullback to retest the top and a break higher. There again, and there again. Ultimately aiming for 375 or perhaps 425. We're still in shoulder season. There's not a lot of impetus derived from the weather, and so a lot of what is underbidding this market right now could be contributed towards by what's going on in the Gulf of Persian Gulf, the Straits of Hormuz, Karg Island, and the whole story in the Middle East. So that's obviously put a bit of a bid under natural gas, and whether that's an unnatural bid, in other words, a false bid created by a false situation, an unusual situation like the war, I don't know. But nevertheless, if we break down below that low, and now precisely at $3. And if you remember in the video and a live stream last night, I said $3 is kind of the level that we really want to try and hold. I will allow for spikes below there and for probes below that level, but I think $3 is about the level that we should be looking for as a base. Once we get going to 375 and then 425, if we get that far, we could then turn our eyes towards higher targets at about 5 or 525. But for now, we've got to get out of this sort of morass, out of this rounded bottom, and see if this new little inverse head and shoulders can work out. The target would be back into this order block, and I think a little higher, up to 375. But a good area to aim for to start with would be about 350, about halfway up towards $4. And remember, if we break down below that low now at $3, I'll start to consider hedging, and then we'll be looking towards the bottom of this range, much further, well, not a little bit further down, let's say, at 275-ish, the right down at the bottom, and consider looking for a double bottom there. But as long as we hold there at $3, it's an important psychological number. And we've got this long-term bid that's now put under the price by damage done to the oil, the gas fields in the Persian Gulf, and that's going to take 3 to 5 years to be repaired, and that's just a 3 to 5 year bid underneath. So all of these factors play into it, plus a general bid, and if we see economic conditions improving, which have been dampened by this war, we need to see the economy driving the price of natural gas up too, as demand in industry contributes a lot to the underswell underneath the price. I hope you found that useful. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and please watch yesterday's live stream, which I've linked at the end, and I will put the link above us once again now. Take care. Speak to you soon.
I'm on the floor when the bell starts ringing, Natty on the screen and the bids all swinging. Here comes a shadow in a pinstripe blazer, they whisper,
that's the East End geezer.
He slides in slick,
Just a half tick wider.
order so thick,
He could drown a spider.
they call him trending salter, liquidity gulper, Mr. Engulfer, market sculptor. Oh, Mr. Engulfer, what you doing to the tape? You twist that curve into a brand new shape, trending salter making chart line scream, grooving natty right to